You might not recognize where you are tonight. You're in the offices of the Daily Dunklin Democrat, and I tried to think how many years we've been coming up to the Democrat office and trying to find, finding programs, different kinds of programs. The very first time I remember talking to someone who was editor here of the Democrat was Paul Jones. That was an interesting interview. And then I remember through the years talking to Jack Stapleton, to Bud Hunt, to Deanna Coronado, and last but not least, right here in the office of George Anderson. And George, I asked you to find the top stories of the year. Did you find national or local, or what do we got?
I found local. Went to our website and did some statistics for the whole year, and I pulled our top 5 stories based on page views.
The top 5 stories. Okay. The ice storm was an easy year to know what the top story was. What's the top story for the, or do we want to come up from?
Let's come up. I think coming up would be better. I think everybody has a pretty good idea of what the top story would be.
Well, I don't know that I have a very good idea, but we'll do it. We'll keep you in suspense till the end of the program. All right? What? Go for it. What?
Well, it started off with a story on October 28th. The Kennett Police Department did an arrest over a string of burglaries and a break-in. 4 people were arrested and $200,000 worth of items were recovered. That was our 5th top story for the year.
The 5th top story. Now, how did you determine this is the 5th? Is it based on the number of people that come by and pick up a newspaper?
Well, no, it's based on the number of views we get on our website. I went to our statistics. It tells us how many stories had how many views.
Oh, okay.
And this is where these numbers come from.
Oh, all right. So
this story here had approximately around between 3,000 and 4,000 views.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Well, I'm amazed. Now, you have access. I've said to the police department, please call us when you find a load of marijuana or a lot of stolen property. And do you think they ever will? No, they won't. But they'll call the paper, won't they?
They usually send us a fax.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm jealous because we can't get that news item like that. All right. So that was the 4th top story. 5th top story. Okay. All right. Now, what have we got for 4?
Well, for number 4, back in July, we had a homicide over on Ashton Street. This is the story here. We didn't have a picture to go along with it, but a gentleman was shot while sitting in his SUV listening to music on Ashton Street. That was our 4th top story. We had, again, between 3,000 and 4,000 views on that one.
Okay. Now, you're the one who determines who goes out to cover the story, or do you sometimes go out and cover a story?
Yeah, I go out, and I also will.
Did you do this one? Which one did you do?
This one, actually, I think we got the news on this one through a press release from the police department.
Okay. All right. So they just send you word directly. Now, do you do follow-ups on these?
We do.
Leads?
Yeah, the next day, I didn't pull the paper, but the next day we had 2 names of 2 suspects who were arrested, and they wound up, I think that their court date hasn't officially been, the trial hasn't been set yet, but they are still in the system.
All right, okay, all right, let's see. All right, I still haven't thought of the top story this year, so I'm working. All right, go with what else now?
Okay, coming up next, we all remember the springtime flooding we had this year affected everybody in southeast Missouri. One of our top stories from that time was flood safety efforts at Pemiscot County.
Flood safety efforts at Pemiscot County, all right, and
Turn it a little bit this way.
What?
Turn it so I can see it.
All right. Is that not good enough?
There you go. Got a little light on it. Go ahead.
On that story, I sent Deanna Coronado over to Crothersville. She met with some of the FEMA and SEMA people over there, as well as the American Red Cross, who were doing some sandbagging. They took her around. She got a little bit muddy, but she came back with a good story.
Did she really get muddy?
Yeah, she did.
Well, did you make a picture of that to show here's what happens to our reporters?
I didn't do that.
Oh, all right. All right, and a morning crash at Wilson's Recycling. Tell me what that was about.
That one completely slipped my mind. From what I remember about it, there was a gentleman who was taking a load of scraps to Wilson's Recycling, and he went to pull into one of the receptacles and apparently had his vehicle in the wrong gear and wound up backing through the building.
Oh.
Or backing or driving, one of the two.
Right. All right, I do remember. And that was when? What's the date on this?
This was April the 28th.
April 28th. All right. Okay. All right. All right. I see what we're getting close to. Yes, I do. Now, surely that's the
You're
top
peeking.
one, but huh?
You're peeking.
I really am. All right. Tell me about this one.
All right. Our second top story for the year, a recent story back November the 15th. Well, actually, it happened the late night hours of Monday, November the 14th. Fire destroyed the Kennett Country Club. That was kind of a surprise to me. I didn't expect that one to have so many views yet, but it has been a pretty big story as far as page views go.
All right. Now, how many hits would you say you have on that?
That one was around 5,000.
Okay. You mean you're going to be able to top 5,000?
I'm going to be able to blow 5,000 out of the water.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I don't know why. I can't think, but I can't do it. So the Kennett Country, now, is there still an ongoing investigation of this? Is it pretty well resolved?
Well,
are you all still on this?
We're still covering it, not as deeply, because it's kind of gone through the state fire marshal is conducting the investigation. They have claimed that it is arson, and to my knowledge, they haven't had any suspects just yet.
Okay, so, but you do keep up with this. Do they call you, or do you call them?
No, we actually have to call them every now and then and see what's going on. Or I'll call Jonathan Mays, the president of the country club, and ask him if he's heard anything new.
Okay, and what are their plans? Are they planning to rebuild? Are they, what's going on?
I had Jonathan in here a few weeks ago on one of our press pass videos.
Okay.
And he told me that his plan is to rebuild, him and the country club board. They've talked about it. They've put together a committee and have talked to the insurance agency, and they hope to have a new facility up and running by the end of next year.
Oh, all right. So they're really going to get on. But I'll bet that hasn't stopped the golfers, has it?
Oh, no. He said that.
Are you a golfer?
I'm not.
Okay. All right. All right. Let's go. All right. Let's see. What's this? All right. Tell me the top story.
The top story for the year is a tragedy. Nobody likes to hear about it, but there was a 3-year-old girl from Zenith who was abducted and murdered.
And this story broke when? August 16, 2000?
No, this isn't the day the story broke. It actually broke, I want to say, the first week of August. I don't remember the date exactly. I just pulled this one because...
this was a court appearance.
Right. This was the actual first paper that we published after we found out the gentleman who allegedly did the murder.
All right.
And that was Sean Morgan of Zenith, who lived just a few houses down from Brianne Rodriguez.
All right. Now, and I know you've had several articles in the paper about this as you followed this along. Now, you said you really blew 5,000 out of the...
Yes,
What
ma'am.
have you got on that?
On all the stories... We have a top 30 stories list on our statistics. About 95% of those were relating to the Rodriguez murder. And doing a combined page view, I have a total of 134,440 page views relating to this story.
How many again?
134,440. This story alone had about 35,000 of those views.
Now, what did people do before websites and before computers to determine what the top story was? Did they just go through and play it by ear? How did they determine this?
That is a good question.
He doesn't have the answer, I can tell.
I'd be lost without the internet. So.
And tell me now, I don't know a thing about the internet. My husband does all of this for me. I can pick up a phone and talk. Tell me what this little thing means here.
This little thing here it's a QR code. Stands for Quick Response Code. What you do is if you have a smartphone, an iPhone or an Android smartphone, some Blackberries and Windows phones, you can take a picture of that with your phone, and it will take you to a either related gallery or whatever it links to. This one
Will
here.
it take you to this paper? Will this bring you to the Democrat and give you more information?
Yeah. If you scan this one here on this story, it's going to take you to our website and give you a list of stories relating to the Brianne Rodriguez murder.
Okay, so everything will be on that.
Right.
Now, tell me how this works. It seems to me like that would be self-defeating to sell papers if I can call it up on a website. Is this not true?
No,
Does it make people want to buy it?
well, people have, there's two different schools of thought. Some people would like to have the tangible object in their hand as they're sitting back in the recliner reading
That
it.
would be me. That
Right.
would be me.
Oh,
Okay.
and then there are some people who would prefer to read something on a computer screen.
All right. But for you, for an editor of a paper, you would want them to buy the paper.
Right. It's in our best interest, yes, if they purchase the paper.
Okay. All right. So is this a help? Would you say this is a help to you to sell the website, to sell more papers?
I think they kind of feed into each other.
Okay, all right. I've wondered how that would work. All right. What other kind of internet activity? See, we've gone through your archives back there, and you got to do something about the dust. I mean, it's at least a foot thick on those. But I love to go through those old papers back there. That is incredible. I can't do that on a website.
No?
The printed page, to me, there's nothing like a printed page.
Right.
Okay.
And actually, our online service only goes back to 2002. So it's not even 10 years yet,
Okay.
minus
all
a
right.
week. But
Okay. I don't know how far back that goes to 19. I keep pointing back in the archives. We've gone back, I know we've done 1904 and 1905.
We've got hardbound books. I'm thinking back to the early 1900s, late 1800s.
And it's a shame because some of them are deteriorating.
Very much.
So, and I know you don't want to do the expense of just getting everything redone. Is it all on, what do you call it?
The microfilm?
Yeah, yeah.
I think we contract that out, so I'm not sure who does that and what all is backed up.
Okay, all right.
Again, I'm a kid of the new age, so
Well,
everything is
and I'm
back
one who hasn't even crept into the new age yet.
well, we have our website that, like I said, is backed up to 2002.
Have you got it on here? Can you show us what you've
I'm
got?
actually on it right now.
All right. Come
This is our homepage. Our top stories will go right here in this area, and they scroll through usually our top 5 headlines for the day. As you scroll down, this is our new Press Pass video segment. Past that, we have some greetings from the troops, and this is our local headlines. And you can look at the headlines, the most read or the most discussed. Below that, you get photo galleries. That's something we really amped up this year, taking a lot more photos, putting those online for people to purchase.
How long have you worked here at the paper?
I actually started here July 1st, 2008. I took about a 3-month absence end of last year, beginning of this year, came back as editor in February.
Okay. Now, did you pursue this in college? Or did you do journalism? Did you?
No, it's just kind of something I fell into. I've applied here, started applying here when I worked, or actually when I was in high school. Never got a hit or anything. In 2008,
They didn't know how good you were, and they just messed up, didn't they?
I'm not going to say that.
Now, I do know that when you were flipping through pictures, I saw the top story of your year.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's pull it back, and he knows well what I'm talking about, too. Oh, and what's her name?
Her name is Jillian Diane Anderson. She was born October the 7th. She's mine and my wife's second child.
And she's absolutely beautiful and very intelligent.
Yes, she is.
I could ask you, actually that's a cheating question because I already know every time I pick up a Democrat, there's something about that baby in there right now.
Well, I usually try to mention her in my column. I write a column usually on Fridays.
Okay.
Called From the
Yes,
Desk.
you do usually mention her in your
Yes.
column. Does she have red hair?
Well, it started brown, but it's getting a little bit of an auburn tint to it. So I don't know what it's going to turn out to be.
Yeah, no telling. Yeah, well, that's great. Well, we hope you've enjoyed reviewing the top 5 stories that happened right here in the Boot Heel. And we thank George Anderson and the Daily Dunklin Democrat for. And actually, the Democrat has been very good at no charge to print our schedule for, 37 years we've been doing that.
It's been a while. We're glad to do it for you. We're glad to see you guys. You got your technical issues fixed up and are back on the air.
Well, good. Thank you.